Hey Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
When we heal from our traumas,
when we face our fears,
let go of our addictions,
when we relearn our values,
when we live our teachings,
respecting our elders,
cherishing and honoring our children,
when we honor and take care of our spirit,
there will be no room left for sexual violence.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
Culture prevents so many negative things from happening to us as individuals and as communities.
Strong roots begin with a healthy heart. For Indigenous women, heart health is part of caring for community, culture, and future generations. Even small steps can help protect what matters most. Discover ways to support your heart at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats, because your heart beats for generations.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Maintaining our health, particularly our heart health, is very important to us as a family.
Your heart gives you time. Time with family, time with community, time to pass down what matters. Protecting your heart helps keep those moments alive. A visit with a healthcare provider can be one step toward a healthier future. Learn more at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats. Your heart health is essential because your heart beats for generations. Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
When we heal from our traumas,
when we face our fears,
let go of our addictions,
when we relearn our values,
when we live our teachings,
respecting our elders,
cherishing and honoring our children,
when we honor and take care of our spirit,
there will be no room left for sexual violence.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
This is Chase Iron Eyes announcing a new show on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, powered by Native Roots Radio. The show is called Native American Patriot Talk Radio. What will we do on the show? We are going to explore and dive into the source of American constitutional sovereignty, the intersection of Native American and legal issues. Find us the first and third Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. on AM 950.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. There's a lot happening in July. It's America's 250th birthday. Aquatennial is also coming to Minneapolis later this month. You've also got beach days, fishing days, time spent on the playground with the kids. So what are you coming home to at night in terms of your carpet cleanliness? If the answer to that is questionable or worse, then you need my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to come help get things in order this summer. If your carpet's looking more like a snowbank in late March, muddy, crunchy, and kind of mysterious, it's time to call Zero Res. This month, get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $139 and get your air ducts cleaned starting at $599 per unit. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 9520-RES and say you want the AM 950 special. Back order forward spells the same. Zero Res.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, we have our friend stopping in real quick here and would love to get a great update here. And also, please introduce you to our audience. Thank you so much for coming.
Miigwech, Robert. Excuse me. Anin buju baganigishgu kwe indigenakaz makwak nindo dem miskwagmi wisagaganing and donjaba. My name is Holly Cook Macarro. I'm from the Red Lake Nation, and I am serving as the informal tribal affairs advisor for Peggy Flanagan as she is in this historic run for the United States Senate.
Well, we got some updates. Very interesting yesterday. I thought it was very good. Tell us how you guys felt about yesterday's NPR. I don't know, get to know you. I didn't feel like it was a debate, but talk to us and tell us how things are going.
I think it was billed as a debate, but really more of a rite of passage in the primary season here in Minnesota. That format, and with NPR, I thought it was very good. The lieutenant governor, was not pinned down at all by Angie Craig's efforts, and really, I think came out very strongly in terms of being very clear on what her positions were and where the weaknesses were in Angie Craig's candidacy, and so I thought that went very well for her yesterday.
Yeah, I really appreciate the lack of PAC, and I see all this misinformation out there, and it really sickens me. So it's really great to hear it come from the lieutenant governor, what she stands for, and what she has achieved, and the things that she's done for Minnesota, all her political life.
Absolutely, and I think that you mentioned the PAC spend, the spending that is happening in this race is absolutely, it is on a Democratic Senate primary in the state of Minnesota. So the winner of this race is not going to affect the balance of power in Washington, D.C. But special interests, corporate PAC money, and these dark money groups, we call them dark money groups because the donors do not have to be disclosed. And they can either not be disclosed now, or they can be disclosed at a later date, just depending on what sort of arm that the funds that are being spent are drawn from. So this race is extraordinary in terms of the history-making nature of it. And for Indian country, this is the Lieutenant Governor Flanagan's candidacy was important to us, not just, excuse me, in Minnesota, be, because of the fact that it was an opportunity to elect a Native woman, excuse me, I'm so sorry, a Native woman to the United States Senate for the first time, but it was an opportunity. Now it's an opportunity to vote for someone who is on our side on an issue that is ground zero for Indian country in terms of advocacy and concern, and that is the online gaming being operated by what we call prediction markets.
Yep.
And the prediction market folks are spending right now, that up until this point, we are right now 2 weeks away from the last day to vote on August 11th. Early voting is going on now, but they have spent $17 million so far, and they are on track to spend over $30 million in this primary race. And they are spending that amount against Peggy Flanagan and in support of Angie Craig, because they know who will support their interest. If and when they lose in the courts, the prediction markets are going to seek legislation in order to make legal the online betting offerings that are happening right now. Those online betting offerings being put out by Kalshi and Potter and Polymarket, etc., they are doubling their market share by the quarter. And there are corners of Indian country. I heard Chairman James Seba from the California Nations Indian Gaming Association note the 5% decrease in tribal revenues in the West, tribal gaming revenues. Those are going to creep in on the margins until they are significantly impacting the gaming revenue from tribal casino operations. And as we all know, tribal gaming has been the most successful economic engine ever for Indian country. So our interests, and the fact that tribes have abided by federal law, they've negotiated compacts, they've protected consumers, they've devoted pots of money that give them exclusivity in states all across the country. So in these prediction market interests, when they are spending over $30 million in a primary race in the state of Minnesota, they are doing it because they are investing in a candidate. That candidate is Angie Craig. And while she's trying to thread the needle and say that she's standing with the tribes on prediction markets, this is not one of those issues where you can have a foot in both camps. You are either with the tribes and aligned with them in protecting tribal gaming interests and those revenues that bring so much funding to our communities and tribal programs, or you are with the prediction markets they who are engaged in litigation against tribal interests in 12 states and more by the day. So we are really in this fight in a way that is much bigger than just the history making part of it, to elect Peggy Flanagan as one of the first Native American women to the United States Senate. It's bigger than that for Indian country.
One of the things that Peggy talks about, the lieutenant governor talks about, is healthcare. And I thought it was really interesting hearing what Angie Craig said about healthcare for all. Really kind of a mumbo jumbo kind of part of the debate yesterday. I really didn't understand what she was talking about. And it's pretty clear how the lieutenant governor stands.
Yes, absolutely. I caught that as well in terms of the health care for all and the expenses she was associating with it. I think Peggy has been very clear on her stance there, and it's really part of what she's worked for in terms of advocacy her entire career, and making sure that everyone is taken care of, that access to health care is available to everyone, no matter the income level or path in life. So that I caught that as well. The other thing I caught was a mention of that Angie Craig noted she had the support of many tribal leaders in Minnesota. I'm not sure that's correct, and we're doing some fact checking on that now.
Well, there is a stretch, and I think you can, it'd be like me saying that I didn't do something, but my wife did, or somebody else did for me. So there was some really gray areas in her response, and has been with her response that I can say about, where they approached an injured lawmaker about getting there, and then also there's other things too about the PAC money that she gets that she kind of mumbo jumbos over it.
Yes, I agree. I will take the lieutenant governor's lead and let Angie Craig call out Hoffman and Wellstone in terms of what really happened there. I don't think Angie Craig needs our help there. And in terms of the what was the other piece?
Well, the PAC money,
The
that
PAC money.
she's
Yes,
always
she is
talking
absolutely,
great.
that is she, when she says that she has not received any money from the American Israeli Political Action Committee, otherwise known as AIPAC, that is incorrect. They have regularly held fundraisers for her. And so when you hold a fundraiser, you collect those checks, you give them to that candidate. That is AIPAC fundraising. That is what they do. They also were major donors over her previous campaigns. So when she says that she's not taking AIPAC money, that is absolutely not the case.
Well, I want to just say a big Peeny Gigi, thank you so much for jumping on. We got till the 11th, but vote early, right? That's what we want
Yes,
to do.
absolutely. Vote early. August 11th is the last day to vote, not the only day to vote. So get your vote in early. Avoid what we expect to be crowds. This is an historic race in the state of Minnesota, and particularly so for Indian country. Thank you, Robert.
Well, no, thank you, big Peeny Gigi. Thank you so much for coming on and clearing out the record here. What's going on here? Really appreciate you. We got over 200,000 listeners here on Native Roots Radio, and I appreciate you stopping in.
Awesome. Hello to everyone, and good afternoon.
Hey, we'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio. Ho!
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovated Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
We are your relatives,
We are your relations,
brothers,
sisters,
sons.
daughters.
And some of us are your grandchildren.
We are your community. Historically, we held places of honor and respect. Because of the impact of colonization, some of us are rejected, thrown out from family, friends, and community, set up as targets for sexual violence, sex trafficked, humiliated, tortured, and murdered. Everybody has the right to be safe. We are your relatives. Remember,
Homophobia is not traditional.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Maintaining our health, particularly our heart health, is very important to us as a family.
Your heart gives you time. Time with family. Time with community. Time to pass down what matters. Protecting your heart helps keep those moments alive. A visit with a healthcare provider can be one step toward a healthier future. Learn more at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats. Your heart health is essential because your heart beats for generations. Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Away, and I'm here with Wendy. And Wendy, thank you so much for jumping on here. Appreciate you, and people probably have been missing you. You haven't been on for a while, but welcome back.
I haven't. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them. And I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level. It's always my pleasure to do that. Yeah, so I know a lot of people, they've been following these two eagles, Jackie and Shadow, and they are in Big Bear Lake in California. And there's a eagle cam there, and you can watch them. and they had baby eaglets, and they are raising their young there. But what happened was that Jackie was protecting the nest, and she was attacked by 2 other eagles.
Oh.
Yeah, so she got really hurt, and the rescuers found her and brought her to a rehab facility 173 miles away. And what's going on with her right now, they're trying to really understand. So she's alert, and she's showing a little more energy, and she's eating. But the bad news is that she's pretty anemic. And they can't figure out why. They checked her for all the usual causes of anemia. And they're really scratching their heads because they don't know what's causing her anemia. And they continued to do tests and hope that they can get her healthy enough to fly again and go back to her mate Shadow. And this person here who wrote this is John Gray Writers. That's his Facebook page. But he said that he did a little research on what happens when one eagle disappears from a couple for a long period of time. And experts say if Jackie doesn't come back, Shadow's instinct will be to eventually find another partner. But they don't think that desire will kick in until the end of the year or early next year, when he would normally want to mate with Jackie and make more baby eagles. Yeah. Because these 2 have been so close for so long, all bets are off on how Shadow will do without her, if he'll move on or like a normal eagle or not, so people are all like, oh, let's go, Jackie, get better and go back to Shadow. And those who watch the nest religiously say the juvenile eagles who attacked Jackie may or may not have left, but they did see eagles coming near the next nest again, and this time Shadow defended it and chased them off. The animal kingdom can be a harsh place, right? So let's hope Jackie gets better. So there are some updates, and this is from July 25th or about then or there. Another bald eagle is giving Jackie a fighting chance. So so listen to this. The beloved big bear bald eagle has received a life-saving blood transfusion from another eagle. Yes, as veterinarians continue treating her for severe anemia. The transfusion was made possible by another bald eagle named Spirit. While wildlife specialists from multiple organizations work together to provide advanced treatment. So Jackie remains in critical condition, but wildlife experts say her kidney inflammation has improved. She's eating well, perching, and remains bright and strong. Veterinarians have ruled out several possible causes of her illness, including lead poisoning and foreign objects such as fishing hooks, but they're still working to determine what caused the anemia and say it's too early to predict the outcome. Now, yesterday, I just got another update.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is from Humanity for Animals Facebook page. So this is a new ray of hope for Jackie, but her fight isn't over yet. Beloved big bear bald eagle Jackie remains in intensive care at the, how do you say this? It's OJAI, Ohio Raptor Center. I believe it's native, AJAAI. OJAI. I don't know how to pronounce it. Ojai?
Sounds Ojibwe.
Yeah, maybe. While her condition is still stable but critical, the latest update has given millions of people around the world are watching this story, a reason to feel hopeful. According to veterinary team, Jackie has shown encouraging improvement following her life-saving blood transfusion. One of the most promising signs is her packed cell volume, PCV, a key measure of the percentage of red blood cells in her bloodstream, which has increased from 8% to 16%. Although this is still below the normal range, the veterinarians say this is a very positive step in her recovery. A few days ago, Jackie experienced a setback when her blood values dropped again, raising concerns about her condition. However, thanks to around-the-clock care and the timeless efforts of the veterinary team, she has started improving once more. A newly released video from the Raptor Center shows Jackie looking much brighter and more alert. Instead of needing to be restrained during feeding, she is now eating on her own and showing much more energy and determination. The team also notes that she has become much feistier during feedings, an encouraging sign that her strength is slowly returning. Despite these positive developments, veterinarians are still working to determine the underlying cause of her illness. Jackie continues to receive intensive treatment, daily blood tests, and constant monitoring as the team does everything possible to help her recover. Millions of people around the world continue to follow Jackie's journey and eagerly await every update. We all hope this brave eagle continues to grow strong each day, makes a full recovery, and soon returns to the skies and to her beloved mate Shadow at their Big Bear Nest. So you could go on the Big Bear Nest cam. It's in California, and watch the nest. You could see the nest. It's a big, giant, beautiful nest, and in the background is a beautiful lake, river.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're up, it looks like, in the mountains, and it's really just beautiful. So you could just do that.
I know. Like over the years, we talked about lead,
Yeah,
and bullets, and lead, and hunting, and that they were worried at first that hit her because she's anemic.
Yeah, so they thought it was lead. Yeah, so what happens is hunters go and kill an animal, and then the hunters leave what's called a gut pile. So they leave the gut pile, and a lot of times the gut pile has lead fragments. And then the eagles, foxes, all kinds of different animals come and eat that gut pile, and then they get poisoned with lead poisoning. So we've been trying for years to get people to use different ammunition and to get away from lead ammunition, because it really is just wreaks havoc on our wildlife. There's one more update that I have. It's this is in Massachusetts. They're renewing calls to ban certain rat poisons. Okay, so not only not only lead. In Massachusetts, they're renewing calls to ban certain rat poisons after multiple bald eagles have died from secondary poisoning in recent years. The birds are exposed after eating rodents, right, that have been consumed second-generation anticoagulant rodenticides. These are chemicals commonly used in commercial rat bait. Yeah, so the rats eat it, and not only the rats eat it, other animals eat it too. And then the eagles and the hawks and all the predatory birds come down and eat these animals, and then they get poisoned with these anticoagulants, which is a blood thinning medication. So what happens is the animals eat the anticoagulant, and then they bleed out. Like they just bleed, have internal bleeding, and then just die. So yeah.
Hey, I want to bring up too before you have to go, Wendy, and I appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah.
I saw a hawk in her backyard, and I went out to throw a baseball at him, and he flew away before I could.
Why would you throw a baseball?
Because I don't want him eating our chipmunks and squirrels.
Right. You were just throwing the baseball to shoo him away. Robert's not going to hit the
I don't think
any animal in the head with a baseball, so everybody knows. So
yeah, thanks for clarifying that. And plus, my arms are so bad now, I'd probably be a 20-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, I would probably run out there too and like raise my arms and go ha ha.
Did you like the eagles? I was.
Yeah, at first I was like, "Where's that coming from?"
I always like playing the little eagles. Well, I appreciate you stopping in and give us an update, and I'm going to play a little more eagles before we leave here.
Yeah. Let's take care of our wildlife and let's wish Jackie the best.
Right on. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us. Ho.
Maintaining our health, particularly our heart health, is very important to us as a family.
Your heart gives you time. Time with family, time with community, time to pass down what matters. Protecting your heart helps keep those moments alive. A visit with a healthcare provider can be one step toward a healthier future. Learn more at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats. Your heart health is essential because your heart beats for generations. Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
When we heal from our traumas,
When we face our fears.
let go of our addictions,
When we relearn our values.
when we live our teachings,
Respecting our elders.
cherishing and honoring our children,
When we honor and take care of our spirit.
there will be no room left for sexual violence.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
This is Chase Iron Eyes announcing a new show on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, powered by Native Roots Radio. The show is called Native American Patriot Talk Radio. What will we do on the show? We are going to explore and dive into the source of American constitutional sovereignty, the intersection of Native American and legal issues. Find us the first and third Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. on AM 950.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. There's a lot happening in July. It's America's 250th birthday. Aquatennial is also coming to Minneapolis later this month. You've also got beach days, fishing days, time spent on the playground with the kids. So what are you coming home to at night in terms of your carpet cleanliness? If the answer to that is questionable or worse, then you need my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to come help get things in order this summer. If your carpet's looking more like a snowbank in late March, muddy, crunchy, and kind of mysterious, it's time to call Zero Res. This month, get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $139 and get your air ducts cleaned starting at $599 per unit. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 9520-RES and say you want the AM 950 special. Back order forward spells the same. Zero Res.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awakened. This is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Hey, we are here with our friend Gwen. And Gwen, always great to see you. Always love your energy. A lot to talk about. And I know your heart is in Wisconsin right now. We're talking about those terrible storms. Let's talk a little bit about that. And again, welcome back to Native Roots Radio.
Thank you so much, Robert. It is always such a pleasure to be here. And thank you so much to everybody for making it possible for me to do so. And yes, we lived in Appleton, Wisconsin for many, many years. And I owned a house there that they tore down and put up a parking lot, but that's a whole nother story. But we lived in Appleton, Menasha, and my son went to UW Oshkosh and UW Fox Valley. So I used to sing down in there. So, when those storms came through there, it was like watching, your life passed before your eyes. So I spent a good portion of last night, calling people that I know in Appleton and Menasha area saying, are you okay? Are you okay? So the power of Mother Nature, people think that they have power until they actually experience power. That is power. Everything else is the illusion of power.
Absolutely. So we just had Holly on earlier in the show, and she gave a shout out, wanted to say hi to you.
Well, hello, Holly. It's been a while.
No doubt, and a lot going on here politically, and let's talk a little bit about that. I know we have our lieutenant governor running here in Minnesota as a senator, and we also have quite a few. We have 3 or 4 people that are running as state senators and legislators again. So we're doing well here. We always want more here in Minnesota, but Wisconsin and Illinois and across Turtle Island, there's a lot going on.
There is a tremendous amount going on, and it makes my heart so happy to see, all of the activity in Indian country. Because just a little backstory, as the first political director for the DNC back in the 90s, not going to say the day, but it was not exactly, it wasn't yesterday. But, the one question I used to get was, why should we be involved in white man's politics? Because white man's politics has never done anything for us. And my answer, which I kind of synthesized while, listening to many tribal people say that to me over the course of time, is there are elected officials in Washington, D.C., in the House and the Senate that are making decisions about your life every single solitary day. And if you don't vote for them, they're going to make those decisions without your input. So if you want to have an input about what happens in your house and your food and your family and your jobs and your environment and your land and your water and you actually do need to be involved in politics. So it is so wonderful to see not only the Native candidates, Peggy running in Minnesota. Minnesota has to get behind her to be the first Native American woman senator. And all the Native candidates are running. You've got Chris James in Arizona, Congressional District 5, I think it is. You've got, of course, Sharice Davids, who really, really needs people's help. Everybody needs to go to Sharice Davids' campaign and give her some money and go and volunteer for her campaign. And you've got, Deb Haaland running for governor in New Mexico. People need to go to Peggy's website, Deb's website, Sharice's, Chris James. Look at Indigenous Democrats on Facebook. If you want a list of the natives who are running, we try to put that up on a regular basis so people can keep track. Because there's more natives running now than ever before in the history of this country. Do you know that? Right now, this year, more than ever before. And that is, that says something about the work that I did, Holly's done, Clara Pratt, Peggy. I mean, she worked with Wellstone Action before she got involved in electoral politics. And so, there's so many people who have really put a life's work into Indigenous empowerment in the political realm. So it is really, really, it makes me happy. It makes me feel like that what I did and what I chose to do with my life really has mattered. And the political organizations, Native Organizers Alliance, and other groups, the DNC Native Caucus, I think they just did a joint training. There has been, I think Indians.com has done a training. I know that there have been trainings in Indian country on political organizing. And if you haven't been, if you're a Native person and you want to understand how campaigns work, go to your local Democratic Party, go to your county Democratic Party, and go participate in their Get Out the Vote training. Because especially if there's a Native caucus, California, Washington State, Oregon, North Carolina, Arizona, New Mexico, so many, Wisconsin, Minnesota. There are so many Native caucuses within the Democratic Party that you can join, but then go to the trainings because they're good and they're real and they really do make a difference in helping Natives get elected. They worked in Wisconsin like crazy.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things too here in Minnesota, we are voting by mail. Before the 11th, we have a primary coming up, and we want to encourage everyone to vote by mail or vote ahead of time. And
Yes.
I don't know what's going on here federally. I don't know if I should say if I'm afraid or more due diligent about what's
Right.
happening.
Well, I mean, you ask what's going on federally. What day
Right.
is it? You know, what kind of crazy is happening today? But the fact of the matter is that vote by mail is the safest, most reliable means to vote so far. I would say one thing I will say that is absolutely true, that um, the president and the president's party are going to do absolutely everything to mess with this election. It is as simple as that, in every and any way they possibly can. But even with that being true, vote by mail, absolutely a great way to go. The great thing about vote by mail is if you want to vote, but you also want to help a candidate, you can vote early by mail, and then you can go work for them on election day and
Mhm.
call people and give people rides and do all the things that really make the difference between, enough turnout in your community, whether you're urban, rural, reservation based. It really does not make any difference. It is if you are able to vote by mail, vote early, then you can go and work for candidates of your choice. And that really does matter. That's how we
Yeah.
used to turn out 100% of reservations in Wisconsin. 100%.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And we can give rides, and we have the capability to give rides and bring people to the polls, and that's Indian country's vote in the last couple cycles, especially, have made a huge difference nationally.
Absolutely. I mean, the native vote is becoming, as natives get more active, as they get more training, as they decide, I'm just going to run for office, as they mature and get more sophisticated, and not just being asked for money. When they become active voters and active political agents, when we have agency over our own political system that is not tribal, but is the political system that we all are invested in, as we become more involved, our numbers grow. And campaigns pay attention to numbers. Where are the voters? What is my up and over? Where am I going to get 300 extra votes? Where do I have to turn out? And the other part of that is, what do I have to know about the community that I am seeking a vote from? That is our opportunity to teach
Mhm.
about sovereignty, about land, about water, about all of the things that matter to our community, whether we live in a city or whether we live on a reservation or whether we're in a rural area. So as we become more involved, people become more involved with us. And that's what we want.
Right. Gwen, I really like that you brought it up that people need to vote and be, what's going on, especially in Indian country here with all the things that are happening. We have big PAC money coming in from, these online voting
Oh,
or
yeah.
online gambling situations, and it really affecting us in Indian country.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is that, as I said, they're going to pull out all the stops. All the dark money people are very, very, very busy. And really, the only thing that we have that's real and true is turnout.
Yeah.
If we get all of the people that are of age to vote, whatever it is in your state, if we get all the people who are registered to vote to register and then get them to the polls, Indian youth need to understand that their vote matters more now than ever before. There are more young Native people than there are more old Native people, and
Yep.
we have done some of the heavy lift, but they need to carry that responsibility. They have responsibility is the ability to respond. Okay, so Native
Wow.
youth have to have the ability to respond. The way you have ability to respond in voting is you register, and you register yourself. You don't have to necessarily, you can register as an independent Democrat. Please don't be a Republican. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Okay. But you can register and then vote, and then get your friends to vote. It is cool to vote. your self-determination, your personal agency, the agency of your tribe, the agency of your clan, the agency of your ideas, and the agency of the hope that you have for the future depends on whether you register to vote. So young folks, time to get busy.
You know, Gwen, I like when we talk a little bit about that is we get the aunties and the nannies and the grandmas to make it a family thing and bring the young ones, especially the first ones that have never voted before,
Yes.
to the polls with them.
Yes, it's very exciting. I mean, my poor children, my poor children, they were like, "You're going to register to vote," but they would, they have been living around me doing political organizing and campaigns, elections, and political work for their entire life. There was never even an idea that they would not register. There was never an idea that it was not important. It was their bread and butter because it was their bread and butter. It was how mom made a living. But it was also more than that. The people that sat around my tables, the places, they were there when we started the Native American Caucus with Frank Lemire and all of the folks that started the Native American Caucus. It's still in existence today. So they were raised on it. And it's important.
It's very important. Hey, we are here with Gwen, Leaffe, Carr, and our friend. We're going to take a quick break, and we got more to talk about. Really, I love your energy, and we're going to take a quick break so we all can relax a little bit and then get back into it. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio.
When we heal from our traumas,
When we face our fears,
let go of our addictions,
when we relearn our values,
when we live our teachings,
respecting our elders,
cherishing and honoring our children,
when we honor and take care of our spirit,
there will be no room left for sexual violence.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
Culture prevents so many negative things from happening to us as individuals and as communities.
Strong roots begin with a healthy heart. For Indigenous women, heart health is part of caring for community, culture, and future generations. Even small steps can help protect what matters most. Discover ways to support your heart at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats, because your heart beats for generations.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. I'm Bobby Wilson. Witcha.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio. This is Robert Pilot, and we are here with our friend Gwen. And Gwen, a lot to talk about. I'm so happy that you're on. Love your energy. Let's talk a little bit about Madison and really what's going on here with our brown and BIPOC relatives. Again, really some sad things happening. And I don't think it's getting enough so airtime and press. So I'd really like to hear what you have to think. Thanks again for being on.
Sure. And thank you so much again, Robert. It is always a pleasure to talk to you and about the news of the day. And the shooting in Madison was very shocking. They're all shocking, okay?
Right.
one of the things that I think is important for us to realize, and especially as Native people, since we do have such intergenerational trauma, murdering and missing Indigenous relatives, all of the things that happen to us on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a very personal basis, is we can't afford to lose our outrage. Because outrage, energy is anger. And it is how we use it. And we've seen how if you use it improperly, it kills people. And that is one of the issues that we've seen in Madison. It was very personal to us. That shooting happened on the corner where we used to live, my son and I. We used to go, that was my pharmacy. That was where I went to get shiatsu massage. That was by the food co-op. We used to go to St. Vinny's and go shopping. I mean, that literally was where we would walk the dogs, where we brought our puppy home, where, that was our hood. Right there, smack there. And when I saw that had happened there, I thought, oh my goodness, what misunderstanding and lack of training has happened this time, because we have seen this. We have seen this. We saw it in Minneapolis, in Minnesota. We have seen it all over the country, and now we see it in Madison, Wisconsin. And
breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. I love Madison, and
I love Madison too. Madison is a very dear place to me, and it always has been. It always will be. It is, home of one of my most beloved friends, Ada Deer. That was where she ran the School of Social Work. It's where I worked for years at the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. So Madison is home in my heart to me, very, very much so. But I think the most important thing to realize is that we are living in an age of lack of impulse control, access to too many firearms, and not enough education about people with mental and emotional issues. And certainly we're living in a country that is sick to death to its core with racism.
Right.
So you've got racism, sexism, misunderstanding of people with disabilities, mental disorders, persons of color, gay and lesbian communities, you name it, a cornucopia of humanity is being murdered in front of our eyes. And we cannot allow it to continue. And how do we stop this? Well, first of all, it takes having police officers and law enforcement. And, I love police officers, love law enforcement. Many of my friends are in law enforcement. A lot of tribal people earn their living as law enforcement, the FBI and all of the alphabet soup. So it's not an issue of not liking the police or having a negative aspect of police. Police are only as good as the human beings that are in it. And so if you've got a police force that is not given the correct training, not told that they must wear their body cam at all times, because it's not only a protection for the community, it's a protection for them.
Right.
When you don't have that kind of training, when you don't have that kind of oversight, when you don't have that kind of standards that are important for people in law enforcement to maintain, you're going to have issues like this. Not understanding that, people with mental disabilities can get very wound up. They get very afraid. You've got and young kids, they don't have any judgment.
Right.
They're kids. They're gonna freak out when they get caught doing something and run off on a bicycle, and all of a sudden it escalates and boom.
Yeah.
They're children. Please,
learn
how to deal with kids.
This as well as what I just want to let the listeners know is that American Indian movement really came in the forefront in 1968 because of the police brutality. And geez, I've gone through Rodney King. If
all of it,
if there was no video camera there for watching Rodney King get beat, and now we have cameras everywhere on our phones, and so it's even. One of the things I want to say, Gwen, is like, how much was this crazy before there were cameras, and how much now everyone get their camera out?
Well, that's the thing. That's the beauty of having citizen video people. We don't have to have cameramen. I remember the Rodney King. Somebody did record that because we actually watched him being beaten to death, which I will never forget. I've been around for all of them. Even in the 60s, early 60s, watching people getting beat. I'm from Chicago. So we watched, a lot of violence here at the Chicago Democratic Convention and all of those things. And I have to give community leaders, elected officials, and police officials credit that we are not, even with the kind of, I'm going to say Gestapo tactics, because that's what they are, that we see in the streets right now. Even with that, it is still the exception rather than the rule. And it used to be the rule.
Right.
I don't know about you, but natives and people of color in Chicago were getting beaten to death all the time.
Right.
In Chicago back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Exactly. Not so much now, but citizens with their phones are making the difference. I mean, we would not have had the coverage of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, and all of the other shootings that have gone on, and all of the other beatings. It's not just shootings; those are the most dramatic. But there's lots and lots of violence, and Indigenous communities experience more violence, on or near a reservation than most or all other communities.
Yeah.
So that this is a real thing that exists in our lives, and it is up to those of us, as I said earlier, responsibility is the ability to respond. And one of the best ways to do that is to listen to the community, know your community. The other thing I know about Madison, there's a halfway house about 5 blocks away from there. Did anybody think that maybe this guy, and I don't know, was part of that? Was he a person who was relapsing? Do people understand about addictions? Do people understand the things that affect human beings in the world today? It's important to know these things.
Exactly. So we got less than a minute. Gwen, Leaffe, Carr. I want to give you the mic and tell people and talk to people right now.
Well, I think that if I have to say anything to people, is one of the things that life has taught me is if you don't look for the sore, you can't find the wound. And as a person in recovery for 46 years, I have had to take that journey, and it is a painful one. It is an uncomfortable one. It is one that leaks out into the rest of your family. It creates uncomfortable situations that need resolution. But when you do the work, when you go through that experience of resolving those issues, when you make peace with your demons, your family, your community, and most of all yourself, amazing changes can happen in your life. And you're worth it. Each one of us, every Native kid who is listening to this, every woman, every man who feels despair, please understand that despair can be a doorway to a different kind of life. Find someone and walk through it and find the rest of your life.
Wow. Great words. Gwen, Leaffe, Carr. We're going to leave it at that. This has been Native Roots Radio. Everyone have a great night. Ho-wah.